First of all, namaste and a very warm welcome to all of you to the Blub World Web Talks. And before we start, I'll do a small introduction of what typically Blub World is. So Blub World is basically a magazine that tries to inspire teenagers through teenagers. Our working is on a simple line of focus, which is teens inspiring teens. Till date, we have showcased nearly 300 such teenagers from across the world. And we have a reach of nearly 1,500 schools across South Asia. And with every passing day, we're adding more and more schools and more teenagers to the whole network. So why are we here? Since the lockdown began, we started an activity called Blub World Web Talks, which was basically a part of Blub World's research division, which tries to create industry white papers focused on K-12 sector, which is basically schools. So this very platform, Blub World Web Talks, is supposed to be a platform where we are trying to build idea and innovation repositories on how is education evolving during this lockdown and what kind of a school will we have post this lockdown. We are all right now experiencing history and at the same time creating one as well. This is the time that a lot of educational experiments are going on across the nation, across the globe. And this is the time to actually put together ideas and knowledge and perceptions and opinions together so that we create a base for innovation in the coming times. Because the future generations will actually be looking towards all of us that what did you document during this time so that they could innovate for a better future for everybody. So this very platform has been created with that purpose to basically collect knowledge, innovation from all the school leaders from across the world, and share that knowledge with a lot more people who can influence the sector. So today, I'm very happy to welcome all of you to the Blub World Web Talks 59th episode. We've completed nearly 58 episodes of this before this, and more than 650 school leaders have participated on this platform, shared their opinions, and shared their innovations on K-12 education sector. So very warm welcome to all of you once again. Within the next 20-30 minutes, we'll try to know and try to understand what do you think is tech doing to teaching? Or to put it very simply, is tech really teaching? So how has teaching changed and how do you think will it change in the coming times? So I hope you enjoy the next leg of this whole conference and coming together on the Blub World Web Talks 59th episode. A very warm welcome, everybody. I would now like to invite the first panelist for today to share her views on is tech really teaching. Let's have it for Deepanjali Saha ma'am, school principal, Radcliffe School, Bengaluru, Karnataka. Ma'am, over to you. You can unmute your audio.
Very good evening to one and all who are now at present in this platform. See, as just Mr. Daksh was just telling that we are just in the most challenging time in the recent days, and technology in the present language of the students, technology is now the new in the education system. So we have shifted from a regular traditional classroom with little mild blending of technology. We have now shifted to complete technology. And the most irony is that till 3 months before, the students were not allowed to enter in the school premises with a mobile phone. And now the school is within the mobile. So this is, I think, the most popular WhatsApp forward, which is happening now these days. Okay. So it's the time of adaptation and it is the time for the survivability. So how quickly we adapt to the technology, and that much quickly we will be able to make us survive in this educational world. And at this moment, fact to say, there is no alternative of technology at this moment. Here just I want to emphasize one particular point that we should all salute to the teaching fraternity in this situation, that such quickly they have adapted to this sudden change. It was not a pre-planned, it has came as a sudden decision that there will be a lockdown, and the schools, those who are doing the training of the teachers, that's also happened virtually. They have not got any hands-on training during this situation. And the most important thing is that now the technological efficiency of a teacher is judged by a tech-savvy parent who is sitting on the opposite side of the platform. So this is quote unquote is a very, very challenging time and situation for all of us. And a lot of training is happening, but I feel the most important thing before you send somebody to play in the ground is to make the player ready and train them properly. So not only in the urban platform, but in the if you see at the rural platforms, lots and lots of more training is needed. So I'll try to emphasize more on the training. And though we do not have any alternative of technology, but then also there are a lot of debates going on now, the health effects of technology, how it is going to affect the kids of a lower age group. So these are all debates and controversial discussions is now going on. But very quickly, just a couple of things what we follow at Radcliffe in this pandemic time. Just I want to give a quick glimpse of a couple of things. We are having it's a very newly launched thing. What we have done is a morning tea time with the teachers. So before we morning start the class, we just want to have a virtual tea together, not regularly, once or twice in a week, just to give a feel good to everybody that yes, not only an academic curriculum teaching, but simultaneously your mental and emotional connect also we want to keep along with the staffs. So for the students, we are having a virtual assembly. We are having not only a curriculum topic, but we are having all the forms of visual as well as performing arts. So it's a blended learning, online, offline, and visual and performing arts, all are compacted together. Yes, we are having a curriculum team who are just designing the curriculum and the models they are doing on that part. One more thing I will try to emphasize on this point, we have introduced a video call to the students, small kids, because as out of sight, out of mind, if they don't see the face of the teachers, despite, as I'm telling, some of the state governments having a declaration of the small age group kids, they cannot go for an online teaching. So we miss them. So we are just doing for that last note, I just want to conclude that despite all these things, different platforms, different schools, organizers, they are doing, it's a sincere request now to the government that rather than different curriculum, rather than different state board decisions, it has to be across India a single plan and single platform where more emphasis has to be given on the life skill teaching. Let's this year do not teach our students 2 lessons, 2 stories more in the subject. That is not going to affect them in any way. Let us shift our whole planning to a curriculum which is more, there has to be a proper SOP of that and proper training and guidance of that. But we have to shift the teaching more in a life skill based teaching, and which is only going to make us susceptible in the future challenging days. And hope so if we are doing so in the future, we will be coming out with flying colors and we will be more hygiene conscious country. That's what I can just say. Thank you.
So to summarize what ma'am said, mild technology to complete total tech, time of adaptation, there's no alternative of tech. Teachers adapted very quickly and actually upscaled themselves virtually. School classes are absolutely transparent now. The parent is there everywhere. He's like a new god. He's omnipresent in all the classes. So school classes now, training is the key right now. Teachers, tea party, which is a very good initiative to be emotionally connected and charged. And blended learning right now happening across there. And yes, centralized decision making is right now needed for the education sector. Every state, the kind of decision making that's going on right now through the state governments is not very helpful, and it will be better if there is a centralized policy for education to open up post this lockdown. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your amazing thoughts. Let's now hear it from Mrs. Geeta Lakshmi, who's the principal, Rani Public School, Kozhikode, Kerala. Ma'am, over to you. You can unmute your audio.
Good evening, Daksh.
Good evening.
And all principals from across in India. Technology or not technology, I feel the effective teaching is all about effective learning. Now, all of a sudden, when we shifted to online teaching, I was really worried about the teacher-student relationship, because the essence of teacher-student relationship is always emotions, and the technology actually only transfer the knowledge, but the holistic development of a child, actually a lot of value addition, all these things are needed. So when my school shifted to online teaching, not only my school, all the schools, so we were all little worried that how it will happen. But as a surprise, the emotional bonding is still there. The students are still happy to see the teachers. And we added actually dance, music, counseling sessions, storytelling sessions. So now I feel that the kids are as happy as they were in school. But many times we feel that the teaching, when we go for teacher, actually, we started with, I think, writing on the floor. There is a, tradition in Kerala. Earlier, the letters they used to write in the sand. From there, we upgraded to blackboard, green board, now in the screen. I feel the technology really, this technology, the new technology, that is supporting the teacher in delivering, scaling, evaluating, and sustaining um, the learning, the teaching learning process. So I feel that this technology, of course, COVID was actually, it is a pandemic, it is a problem for us, but still I feel we have to take it as an opportunity. And I think all the teachers, as Deepanjali madam said, hats off to all the teachers, they really shifted. Now I'm seeing that almost all activities, what was happening in the school, all that activities are being conducted online. And we don't have to tell much to the teachers. They are finding, they are innovating, they are evolving, and they are really, they are working towards the development of the students. So I feel this came as a boon to us because we cannot go away from the technology. We all have to, like people of my age, almost reaching to the retirement, but still we are all trying to. I am attending the webinar and my teachers are attending. I am conducting staff meetings, counseling session to the teachers. So really I think it is a boon and we have to take this as an opportunity, and thank you for inviting me and all the best to all of you.
Thank you so much, Geeta ma'am. And actually, effective teaching is typically all about effective learning because the final outcome is that teacher-student relationship is absolutely emotional. And wo emotional factor abhi beat out ho gaya, and this is the time when we have to actually find solutions that how would it get reshaped or it would get revamped. Because once the schools even reopen, at that point, we'll be wearing masks and wo pehna ke will be able to emotionally connect with students is again a big question. And the kind of atmosphere we'll have within a class with only 30% kids is again a question that comes into the mind. But yes, एक बहुत अच्छा आपने example quote किया, which is from sand to blackboard to green board to now a screen. From a sand to a screen हम बहुत लंबा सफर तय कर लिया, and कोविड ने उस पूरे जर्नी को बहुत छोटा कर दिया. उसने मतलब जो शायद अगले 10 साल में टेक्नोलॉजी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होता वो उसने शायद 2 या 3 महीनों में कर दिया, और आई थिंक शायद 10 दिनों में ही कर दिया, बिकॉज लॉकडाउन के इन द फर्स्ट 10 days itself school started online classes and a lot of online engagement. And COVID typically proved to be a boon for the education sector क्योंकि सबसे पहला, a kid right now knows to finally or has started to understand how to take control of his learning, because this is what will be needed in the future. क्योंकि अब force fed नहीं कर सकते education, it has to be now consumed, and the learner has to decide कि कितना जल्दी कौन सा और क्या. So let's see how education evolutes around these lines. But thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out the time and being here with us. I would now invite Paramjit Kumar, sir, Principal, GND DAV Public School, Taran, Punjab. Sir, over to you. You can unmute your audio.
Good evening, everyone. Daksh, Rakshadi, and all other intellectuals, those who are present here. Dear friend, I really find this platform to a place where definitely the things can be discussed. As you started with that teens, inspiring teens. So you have given a boost that yes, we are at an age of teens only, and we have to discuss about what we are feeling. Dear friend, Daksh, this is a wonderful topic you have chosen to be discussed. And I personally feel that technology is one of the babies of education. And now the total education family depends upon technology. The COVID has brought us to this place where the education depends upon technology, and the eldest baby of the, or you can say the youngest baby of the education family, is bearing now, shouldering everything. Dear friend, I was just wondering with a few you can say months back, that how to make students understand that technology is to assist you. It is not to tame them. Basically, the technology was taming the students, whereas the students were to tame the technology. They were to understand that they are to use technology, whereas they were being used by the technology. But with this COVID, as you told, that this has really proven a boon to the education system. I do agree. Yes, it is it has brought a sense to the technology that this is the time to utilize technology. And most of the concerned educationists, most of the concerned students and the teachers, they have learned it very quickly, and they have come to know about the importance of technology. And everybody was talking when the 21st century started. Everybody was talking and was worried about that, how whether the computers will be working or not working. But by and by, you see, the things have come to a wonder that the people sitting across India, they are just interacting like they're sitting in a round table conference. So this is what technology, and this is the need of 21st century. So I personally believe that yes, technology is a bridge. Ma'am was talking about, Geeta ma'am was talking about something, but I personally feel, this is my personal perception, kindly don't take it otherwise. I feel that technology has strengthened the relation between teacher and student. Now every student is feeling that the teacher is delivering the lecture for me, and I need to understand and I need to interact. And they are interacting at a personal level, they are interacting in the class, they are trying to understand, and the lecture of the teachers are recorded and they are listening it time and time again, which they were never able to do it in the classes. Once the teacher said anything, the period was over. But now the teacher is providing the videos or providing the links or providing the YouTube channels, and the child who's unable to understand goes to that channel again, goes to that video again, and tries to understand the concept. So the technology is playing a wonderful role. And now at this time, technology is the only mean through which we can connect the world, and we can share our problems, and we can find out the solutions. And there is no doubt about it. But Dipanjali ma'am said, yes, definitely, this is a web where all are connected and their concerns are common. Like you started with, I really appreciate that with technology, you could find out us and we could connect to you. So let all the teenagers understand that technology is a tool. Science is a tool to be used by the human being. It is not the human beings which are to be used by the science or technology. But by and large, this COVID has brought home the idea we are to use technology, and we need to understand that with the help of technology, we can do the things at ease, and we can get connected with the people we have never thought of. And we can, it is just a click away that you are interacting with an intellectual who is going to change your life or who is going to guide you. So I really congratulate you all for arranging this webinar and giving us an opportunity to interact with each other, to learn from each other, because this is the only purpose that technology can serve us. Let us learn from each other. God bless you all and have wonderful time ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. And Paramjit sir, you have added a very new perspective to the whole discussion. That tech is absolutely the baby of education, and right now, wo itna bada ho gaya that it is actually shouldering the whole family, because right now education is based on tech, and tech ने सारी जिम्मेदारी and हमें एक चीज जो बच्चों को सिखाना और खुद भी समझना होगा, the concept of sadhan and sadhya. Technology is just the sadhan, just the tool. It's not the final thing to be achieved, because अभी technology पे आने के बाद बच्चा out of control हो जाता है. So this is where wisdom has to come in. A lot of learning has to come in.
And Daksh, if you kindly don't mind, I really feel that God is kind enough. He has given us technology first, then COVID.
Then COVID. Absolutely. God has been kind.
Had there been no technology, we would have never connected, and we would have never thought of teaching the students in this time as well. So hats off to technology and hats off to the educationists, those who created these people, those who created this net and everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. And एक बहुत major चीज जो बहुत अच्छे से काम कर रही है across schools is that revision has become very easy. Now you don't actually have to go back to a book, create a note. You can actually go back and refer to the video of the teacher, and it's super easy to right now revise and revamp the whole concept. And yes, a lot of new people we are meeting, and this very platform we have met a lot of people who have shared some amazing ideas. And thank you so much that you're here. Let's now hear it from Challa Shrikant sir, who's the principal, Shastra International School, Hyderabad, Telangana, India. Sir, over to you. You can unmute your audio. Before sir starts, I would just like to, let everybody note one thing. With every such call, we try to bring together as many variety and varied geographies as possible. In this call, you can see people from Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, even Kerala and Telangana. So I hope you are enjoying the diversity coming onto one single call. We have had calls where we had people coming in from London, from Singapore, from Indonesia, from south of India to north of India. So the biggest thing that we've created through this journey is basically a lot of diverse education perspectives coming together. So thank you so much, people, for being here. So
and optimum utilization of technology.
Absolutely. So Shrikant sir, over to you.
So thank you, Mr. Daksh, and I'm very thankful to Deepanjali ma'am, Geeta Lakshmi ma'am, Pramjit ma'am for giving wonderful insights. And good evening, this is Shrikant, Principal of Shastra International School, Hyderabad, Telangana State. As we all know that the COVID crisis changed the entire spectrum of education. We have only two options in life, that change or accept. Try to change what you cannot accept and try to accept what you cannot change. And because we reach the position like we need to make or break kind of situation, as it is an impending danger, but we need to change our perception, or else which will create a learning gap among the student community, which may cause children may become inactive, unresponsive, negligent, pessimistic, and become a passive learner, as we know that ideal man's brain is a devil's workshop. Only technology is the best solution to overcome this problem. Otherwise, we will remain back forever. We will foresee that one day parents may say that my child has become a slow learner due to COVID-19. Therefore, we need to ensure that there should not be much learning gap and communication gap between the teacher and the taught, and ensure that learning gap should never be stopped, because education is a continuous process of learning. We should remain as a constant learner. Whenever you detain your learning, your progress will be halted. So it will remain as a major setback in your life. So in order to avoid that, we should remain as a constant learner and try to upgrade ourselves with the latest trends and technologies in education, which always keeps us in high esteem in our life and career. As it is the need of the hour to think as how to overcome from this situation. How do we go about it? School buildings remain shut, but learning needs to go on. We need to see the present scenario. Education is changing its dynamics into different dimensions, exploring the ways and means, a paradigm shift of technology-enabled education. Only enabled education, blended learning in the form of virtual classes is the ultimate solution. The more you explore, the more you can engage the children for their active involvement of their learning. The trends are becoming changing. WhatsApp for communication, different kind of digital platforms like a Google Meet, Google Classroom, Zoom, using the YouTube channels, innovative apps like assessment tools, Kahoot, Wakelet, Quizlet, Menti.com, Jamboard, and many of them like Abdospark, Flipgrid. For students, for presenting our learning, at the same time, we need to take their opinion in the form of book reviews, reflections. Not only for learning, these tools are very useful for assessment tools. See, as far as my school is concerned, so we have given an assignment for them in the form of Wakelet and Flipgrid. We can really energize the people this kind of new learning. See, I will tell you one example. As for the assignment as we were given for our students, so we really surprised that the children have come with a different innovative ideas. One child is written, if there is no learning, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're not living. See what a splendid message is. I repeat, if there is no learning, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're not living. So it is really wonderful. It's a hats up to the kind of innovative ideas for the children, which we created right from the educator community. So we need to create such a creative ideas among the children. The more you explore and motivate, the more you can engage them. See, teaching is a language without a rhythm and rhythmic. It is insipid, it is a flavorless. Similarly, teaching without using technology will become a flavorless even in the future, which is already being experienced. Till now, we had been concentrated to create a positive learning atmosphere, eco-friendly atmosphere. Now it's a time for us to move on to create a tech-friendly atmosphere with a technology-enabled education and adopt diversified learning to expand the origin of our learning. It is an add-on point for which the world needs the utmost with an immediate effect. And at the same time, we need to think of it as learning is continuous process of learning. Let us make it active, alive for the learners with a technology-enabled education with the diversified learning. Thank you. Thank you very much. Over to Mr.
Thank you so much, Srikanth, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Again, added a lot of operational perspective to the whole talk, that we need to right now accept the change, because we cannot absolutely change it right now. We're trying to find vaccines, we're trying to find a lot of more sanitization ways, but yes, as of now, this is the track that we have to follow. And changing perception is very important, and this is where the school actually has to play the new role. One of the school leaders, some time back, I think the principal of Kalinga Institute, there is an institution named Kalinga Institute. They teach nearly 50,000 tribal children on one single campus, and they don't charge any fees from them. And their principal shared a very nice statement. So I'm just sharing the statement. He said that a school is supposed to be a place where the society learns to come together. The society finds its definition within a school. And right now we're supposed to teach a paradox. We're supposed to teach them social distancing. So how will we do that? Because we are the people who set the trend and the base and the tone of the way the next generation will think and the way the society will function. So right now we have to find new ways, and actually the school has to now become the immunity hotspot, because COVID already has a lot of disease hotspots. The school can actually play the role of becoming an immunity hotspot. Learning should not get interrupted. Tech-enabled learning and creating a technology-driven environment in the coming times is actually very important. And yes, teaching will become tasteless without tech in the future. Teaching right now is the new chonk, is the new bagar that you need to make that dish amazing, because only education is a bit less engaging for the new age student. अब जो generation Y हमारे पास है, उनके लिए tech is typically, the entertainment factor in education to make it edutainment. थोड़ा सा education, थोड़ा सा entertainment. And the kind of classroom that we need in the future will be a blend of physical and digital. A typically phygital classroom we'll need. So thank you so much, Srikanth sir, for sharing those amazing thoughts with us. It was really amazing to talk to all of you people. So before this talk comes to an end, we have already listened to the most of the speakers that we had for today. Before this talk comes to an end, I would like to leave you with some food for thought, so that when we meet next, there's something more interesting to talk about. So right now, we're all thinking of and thinking in the way that we understand the definition of a school. But there's something interesting that I would like to attract your attention towards, that the definition of a school, the way we know it, the model of it, even the financial model, the operational model of it, all these have already been obliterated. They do not exist, because the institution that you'll be opening post this lockdown would need a new definition. Because with just 30% students, a lot of sanitization happening, a lot of physical distancing being there, I don't know how will this you actually turn out to be.
So we need to create a wider awareness among the community. And during the invention of a mobile phone, so especially if we have taken into consideration of 10 to 15 years back, so when during the arrival of mobile phones, people used to start to say, if we use a mobile phone, so probably it may be a health hazards. You may get radiation. But whereas now you see that once if you use it, so probably everybody is using that because they don't like to get deprived of these getting benefits. Similarly, and if we get afraid, so probably what will happen? We may not use the benefits. Similarly, nobody's carrying the land phone in the pocket. Nobody's that, because everybody is getting the advantage of that. So we need to have it, and technology-enabled education will give a wider range of opportunities so that we can utilize them. Similarly, we need to create such an opportunity, even the parent also. Wide awareness is required to be given for the parent. For example, see, one apple a day. is good for health. Similarly, 100 apples a day or 50 apples a day, that is hazardous, undesirable. So probably we need to have a limited set of screen time, like every day 2 to 3 hours can be given. So probably, so otherwise what will happen if we get afraid of the technology? Everybody, we may not use the technology, we may not use a mobile phone as we are discussing it a stretch. We cannot get all these benefits. So probably we need to be in a position to create an awareness among the parent community. Once if they were not used, so probably what will happen? Child will become negligent, pessimistic, and one day they may say, my child has become a slow learner because of COVID. We should not create such circumstances. So being an educator, we need to be an exemplary, create an awareness among the parent community. So because as we said that doctors, they saved the world, and it is time for us to the educators and teachers, we need to shape the world. Thank you very much. Over to Daksh.
Thank you so much, Shrikant. So the reason, while we end all of these talks, we try to, give you some interesting thing to actually think on. Most of the EdTech solutions for the education technology platforms that we are using right now, they're not solving education problems. They are solving communication problems. So the education problems still remain with us. So this is where an educator's role comes in. You need to right now define how would education's content, delivery, and engagement change in the coming times. Content, curriculum, बहुत important है. And again, when business or commerce started, it started with a seller's market. The seller used to decide that what will be there on your shelves of your supermarkets. But with the coming times and the growing economies and globalization coming in, it became a buyer's market. The buyer used to decide what will be there on the shelves. And exactly this has happened for education with COVID-19 coming in. It's no more a school's ecosystem. It's a learner's ecosystem, because the joystick of control now is with the student. So we need to build and give them a skill where they can decide how to drive learning. And to drive learning by the student, you need to give them wisdom. You have to actually go to the core meaning of the word knowledge, which comes from two words, knowing and ledge. Knowing your ledge, where you're standing. So let them understand and give them a sense of wisdom, what's good for them and what's bad for them. Because in the coming times, there's a lot of learning that this generation of educationists will need from the generation Y that we are trying to teach. Because there's a very simple paradox in the education sector. We get taught by a generation earlier to us, and we teach to a generation that's advanced to us. And right now, it has advanced so much in so little time that we have not been able to keep pace. So let's see if we are able to do that. And I hope you enjoy the last 20-30 minutes. Build a habit of creating an observation paper every single evening. Try to write at least 200 to 250 words about what changes do you observe, because these would become the basis for innovation in the coming times. And this responsibility actually falls on all of you. So I hope you keep doing that and sharing those inspiration with a lot of more people. Thank you so much, people, for participating. If you enjoyed the session and want to attend the future sessions, you can open your audio, say a big yes. And thank you so much, people, for participating in the Blub World Web Talks 59th episode. A very big thank you to all of you. Namaste.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Daksh. It was a wonderful time. We had a wonderful time.